And we are back at it for another week of television, fun, and frivolity, or as we like to say in the business,
work.
TV. No, it's just TV. It's not work. If this is work, I'm out of here. It is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Monday, the 20th day of November 2017. Dan Kuntz, your host. Steve Hare, our news director. Rainy days and Mondays always let me down, and now we have a rainy day and a Monday.
Freshly washed streets, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's
really
true.
Pretty out there this morning.
Get used to some pretty wet weather all week long. Unseasonably warm temperatures. Lots of rain on the valley floor. Lots of rain in the mountain passes. And it's Apple Cup week.
That's right. The big game coming up this weekend.
Yeah, coming up Saturday at Husky Stadium. It'll be a good game. I miss it. I won't be. I'm at the Wenatchee Wild game on Saturday night. So.
Well, that's equally as fun.
I'm going to listen to Bob Rondo in one ear and the voice of the Cougars in the other ear.
So who are you picking?
I don't know yet. I got to look I got to look for those injury reports and stuff. I can't believe the Huskies are a 9-point favorite to win the game.
Well, whoever wins it, you know who they're going to be playing.
No, if Wazoo wins, Huskies can't go to the Pac-10.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But
if the Cougars win, they take on SC. If the Huskies win, Stanford takes on SC. Either way, the Pac-10 or Pac-12 is not going to be in the national championship picture this year.
Fight on SC.
Yeah, he's a Southern California guy. What do we do with that? Here we are on a Monday. We got a weather forecast coming up. We got lots of sports. Tough loss for the Cascade Kodiak girls soccer team on Saturday afternoon in the State 1A Championship. We got some highlights from that. Also highlights from Royal and Okanagan in high school football from Saturday afternoon. No Seahawk highlights to talk about because they play tonight.
That's right.
Monday Night Football. The Falcons are in town. It's going to be a rainy day at Quest Field. It is Thanksgiving week, CenturyLink Field, I should say. It's Thanksgiving week, so we have a lot of travel things to talk about as well. Right now, it looks pretty benign. The big story in the mountain passes is the snow level is going to be above 8,000 feet for most of this week. There. So that means all those ski resorts that are all, hey, we're open this afternoon. Now here comes the rain.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll talk about that too in just a couple minutes. On Friday night, although I did not physically spend the night in a box, I was there alongside 3M, our award-winning camera person, and we got a lot of good videos and a lot of interviews with lots of cool people who were helping out the Lighthouse Christian Ministries. In the second half of this program, we'll be playing back some of those interviews, specifically the one I did with Bart Tilley, one of the original organizers of Night in the Box, and Sean Arrington from the Lighthouse Christian Ministries. And we're endeavoring to put together a 1-hour special presentation of Night in the Box, and we'll get that done sometime this week. So
good turnout.
Good turnout.
Just judging from the B-roll that I was looking at this morning from your footage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the weather was fairly well cooperative.
Yeah, it looked a little chilly, but not as bad as it's been in the past.
The key is no rain, because most of these people are literally sleeping in a cardboard box. Mm-hmm. Something like a washer or dryer or a refrigerator would come in, and if it rains or snows, cardboard gets wet.
Yeah, it does.
And that can be pretty miserable. So anyway, we'll talk about that in the second half.
Living life in the streets.
It'll be good. Steve, you got a lot of news to get to, as a matter of fact, including Harvey Jesdahl, Douglas County Sheriff, making news on Friday, exclusively here on the NCW Life Channel.
That's right. That was an interesting interview we had with the sheriff, and a little later today, I think I'm going to be talking with the man who wants to take his place. Kevin Morris, the Douglas County Undersheriff, has filed some papers as well. Also, kind of a heartwarming story that we want to share with you on our newscast today about a family from East Wenatchee whose Thanksgiving will be extra special this year. We'll tell you about that coming up too.
And I'm glad you mentioned Thanksgiving, because believe it or not, on Thursday morning, we're going to do a show.
That's right.
Yep, we figured, we had a little momentum here. We were told that some people actually even watch this program. So in order to keep that up and going, if you're going to get up early on Thanksgiving to prepare your turkey and stuffing and all that stuff, because it takes, about 6 hours to prepare a decent Thanksgiving meal, you can start your day with us here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll have an exclusive Thanksgiving morning edition of this award-winning program. You ready to go around the valley, Steve?
Because we'll both be asleep by the Thursday afternoon.
Absolutely. Nothing beats that post-Thanksgiving nap. Let's take you around North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras. That is, of course, downtown Wenatchee. That's from the roof of the Cascade. Normally, Steve, we start out with a cross camera, but it's all fogged in. It's all fogged in. There's a whole bunch of wet and very mild storm systems that's going to bring one round after another of precipitation this week. What you see here is actually the tail end of yesterday's storm.
That's right.
It started to rain late yesterday afternoon into the evening. So this is actually exiting the region. Then we're going to have some sunshine this afternoon, and then say goodbye to the sun for quite some time. It's going to be rainy most of this week. Good morning, Wenatchee.
That's good news, though. Good use the moisture.
Yeah. Camera 2, where are we going? That is, that's a beautiful shot. That is heaven. I'm sorry, Caitlin, that's where?
Jump off.
Oh, that's Jump Off Ridge.
And we just jumped off.
So we're told. Geez, I wonder if this makes it difficult for planes to land. Planes could take off in fog. That's not a problem. It's the landing part that has all kinds of issues. So sunrise, by the way, isn't officially until 7:13, so we're still about 8-9 minutes away from sunrise.
There we go.
That's got to be Cougar Ridge pulled all the way back. I think it's still too far back for Badger Mountain. I'm pretty sure. That gives you a good idea of the clouds that are coming in. But again, this system is leaving the area. So we have rain and clouds this morning, and we're expecting sunshine this afternoon. Yesterday's high, by the way, Steve, only 37. That was it.
It was chilly.
That's going to be the overnight lows for most of this week, as opposed to the afternoon high. Fourth camera, where are we looking at here?
Another.
That is heaven.
That's look.
It was Omi Garden. It was clear about 30
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah. About 30 seconds ago, Omi Garden was fine, and now it's looking like that. If you look if you squint, Steve, at the very bottom of your screen,
I can look down on the Highway 97A.
you can see the Stimel complex. You got to look real hard to do that. So hey, it's a cloudy, rainy Monday, but again, we'll see some sunshine this afternoon. In fact, from the National Weather Service, let's take a look at your forecast for north central Washington, and you'll see lots of raindrops and lots of warm temperatures. Snow levels quite high, in fact above 8,000 feet. We'll get to the past report in your forecast for that. That's going to be pretty much all week long, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Again, one storm system after another is coming in. High today of 48. We will see some sunshine later on today. Got to be a little patient, but it's coming. Tonight, rain. Tuesday, rain. Tuesday night, rain. Wednesday, rain. Quarter of an inch, half an inch, quarter of an inch, half an inch. The heaviest rain, Steve, in the forecast Tuesday into Tuesday night. Once the rain comes in later on tonight, basically in the overnight hours spilling into Tuesday, it's going to rain pretty consistently really right through Wednesday. And then we get a little break on Wednesday evening, and gobble, gobble, gobble Thursday, you'll see the big giant turkey there. There's just a slight chance of rain, but look at those temperatures, very mild.
Very mild indeed.
Our normal high temperature this time of the year is usually right around 40, 41 degrees, so we'll be, in fact, well above normal there, and the overnight lows well above freezing, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, and I'll mention again now. All of these fronts, one right after the other, is a warm front bringing lots of rain. The snow level is going to be above 8,000 feet in the mountain passes. Let's take a look at your mountain pass report.
El Nino is starting to materialize,
What's
isn't
that?
it? I say El Nino is starting to materialize here.
Yeah, I don't
Or is
know.
it La Nina this year?
No, it's a La Nina. It's supposed to be
Nina,
just like
isn't it?
last year. That is I-90. Your big problem there is going to be standing water because it's raining.
Boy, oh boy, what a
Raining at a
difference
pretty
that
good
is
clip. What's
from
that?
last night. I mean, they were getting hammered with snow last night. They
Not
had
anymore.
to shut down the pass westbound for a few hours last
If
night.
you're leaving now, you're fine.
Oh, yeah.
No advisories, no restrictions on I-90. As far as Stevens Pass, outside of some slush and ice in places, it is
Boy.
raining. Traction tires are advised on Stevens. That's a miserable skiing conditions. Nobody
Well,
likes to ski in the rain.
You know me, I'm an early riser.
Yeah.
These images are a lot different than what I saw at 4 o'clock this morning.
Yeah,
It
things
was
change. Well,
white
the front's
out.
moving in. No advisories, no restrictions on Blewett Pass. They're all bare and wet. Your forecast for the mountain passes today: a couple of inches of snow on Stevens, none at all on Snoqualmie. It's a little bit too low in elevation. And then here comes that big warm front. Snow level goes above 8,000 feet and stays there all the way through Thanksgiving Day, Steve. So tonight, a little bit of light snow. Tuesday, heavy rain. Tuesday night, heavy rain. Wednesday, heavy rain. This is the mountain passes we're talking about. Wednesday night, heavy rain. Thanksgiving Day, rain. And then they go back to a little bit of snow, possible slight chance of snow on Thursday night. So there you go. It's going to be a gloppy, sloppy, standing water kind of commute on the mountain passes. If you don't like to drive in the snow, you're fine because it's not going to snow.
Right. So if you're headed over to the game tonight,
For the Seahawk game,
Yeah.
it'll be fine.
Yeah.
No problems at all. 9 minutes after the hour, Monday, the 20th day of November 2017. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We are live here from Studio 5 in downtown Wenatchee. Going to take a quick 1-minute break, and then everything that happened over the weekend will be yours in a tidy little package with this guy, News Director Steve here. It's 1 minute away. The news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by LocalTel. Come be a part of the fabulous holiday lighting ceremony where Pybus Market will turn on their holiday Christmas tree lights Friday, November 24. They flip the on switch at 5:45 p.m. sharp. Live music follows from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Also at Pybus, the American Red Cross is holding a blood drive in the events room November 27 from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CBCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CBCH respects that.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Again, here's our news for this Monday at 11 after the hour. Here's what's happening. Well, he's hanging up his badge. Douglas County Sheriff Harvey Jesdahl has formally announced that he will not seek re-election to a third term next year. He made that announcement in an exclusive interview Friday with NCW Live News.
You know, at the end of 18, I'll have been in the business over 33 years. I'll be almost 60 years old. I guess the best way to say it is you just know it's time.
Is there a burnout factor?
I don't think so, because on the last minute, on the last day of my job, I will know I have the best job in the world. But, you know, part of it too is being responsible. I mean, good leaders know when it's time for them to leave. Not that they feel they're doing anything bad, it's just time to move on and let someone new come in there and take over the helm. And right now, my office is running so amazingly well. We're places with staffing and facilities and equipment that we haven't seen in years. Things are going good. Mm-hmm. And I guess I just kind of want the end of my tenure to be, I want to leave it a dead run.
And again, Jesdahl announcing his retirement, and he will be leaving law enforcement entirely, taking on a new role in a different field, although he didn't specify. Jesdahl's undersheriff, meanwhile, Kevin Morris, is planning to run for the vacant seat and has already filed papers with the Washington State Public Disclosure Commission, which is really the first step towards his being able to raise funds for that election campaign. Of course, we were going to be talking with Kevin later today, hopefully, and we'll have more on his campaign coming up on our 5 o'clock news with Grant Olson. Also, about 900 Chelan County PUD customers were knocked off the grid early yesterday morning when a car struck a power pole. Accident at the intersection of Washington and Western Streets happened around 3:30 in the morning. The power outage affected residents from Elliott Street to Western Avenue and all of Washington Street. Everyone was back online after 3 p.m., so it was quite an extended outage. Information still pending from the Wenatchee Police Department on the effects of that accident that caused the outage. We do not know the extent of the injuries in that crash. Wenatchee's Lighthouse Christian Ministries hosted the 6th annual Night in a Box event Friday evening here in Wenatchee. Several community leaders camping out in cardboard boxes to bring awareness to the plight of the homeless. Among them, Bart Tilley, who Dan spoke with in the parking lot of Encouraging Words bookstore on South Wenatchee Avenue.
7 years ago, Sean Arrington and I were talking, and he said, Bart, I'm going to go spend the night on the street out in front of what we now call the Gospel House in order to just raise awareness and support for getting the doors open to this facility. And I said, Sean, that's the craziest idea I've ever heard, but if you're going to do it, I'm going to do it. And so I went down, and it was a Thursday night. We spent the night in front of the building, and then Todd Strom decided to come down, and so did Kevin Kennedy, and we suffered. You know, sleeping in a cardboard box in a cold winter night isn't exactly fun. But the next morning, we felt like, you know, we did something that actually counted. The Wenatchee World actually came down and did a little interview with us, and they put a nice article in the paper, and the community rallied. We raised funds and opened the doors to the Gospel House. So one thing that was interesting also is the next morning, the police came and they said, guys, you got to get out of here. You can't be spending the night on the sidewalk. You know, it's just, we don't allow that. So the next year we said, well, you know what, we're going to invite the police. And so we've got Steve Crown spending the night with us tonight. We also have Brian Burnett. So we're bringing law enforcement along with us.
And again, joining Tilly at Friday's evening, again, as he mentioned, Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett, Wenatchee Police Chief Steve Crown, local attorney Andy Kottkamp was there, along with pastors Kay Coldy and Brian Broussat, and Darcy Christopherson rounded out that field of community leaders from the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival.
it was devastating for my girls to watch my girls go down that path, not only for myself with the emotions, the depression, but it hurt. It hurt my girls. And you can do whatever you want to me, but don't hurt my girls. When you hurt my girls, you hurt me. And I am their biggest advocate. I am their mama bear. And nobody's going to hurt my girls ever again. We're on the up and up. And that's where we plan to stay.
That's Cindy Flowers. She and her two disabled daughters, Heidi and Heather, are well known here in the Wenatchee Valley for their volunteer work. And Cindy works full-time, around the clock, in caring for her two daughters. Her caregiver contract, though, with the state was terminated back in July of 2016 after Heather's case manager reported allegations to the Department of Health and Human Services. In fact, that halted Cindy's only source of income for her family. The allegations were ultimately dismissed, but Flowers says she feels the state is still working from the old allegations, and that sets up roadblocks, slowing the process to restore care to her daughters.
As of May 22nd, I got my job back for Heather, and they have changed a lot of the rules on me since the APS investigation, even though it had been dismissed. Heather no longer qualified for caregiving with just having her spina bifida and multiple other diagnoses. They were now requiring an IQ test, and I had asked for them to pay for it, and they would not pay for her to have an IQ test. It was $500 out of my pocket. I told them I did not have any financial means to take care of that, and so I fought it until they fired me from my job October 1st. We had a case manager come out, and I did get my job back for both the girls about 3 weeks ago. It's been a long time of just fighting, and they just seem to come up with different things to delay me from getting my job back.
Flowers says certainly it's been a financial hardship and a nightmare, but even more disturbing is her total loss of trust in the system.
I went forward with filing bankruptcy with an attorney here in town, which took us to Moses Lake because they do not do the bankruptcies any longer in our county. Bankruptcy is completely over with. We lived on food stamps and a little bit of the public with our GoFundMe page. We nearly lost our house. It could have went into foreclosure, but we were able to avoid that. You know, I've learned that there's a big difference between a mother taking care of her daughters and a state-paid caregiver taking care of state clients. There's a big difference there. I've also learned not to trust DSHS, aging and adult care, developmental disabilities. It's really hard to trust the state.
We also asked her daughter Heather for her perspective on having to take an IQ test and also what it's like watching her family go through the investigation.
Stupid. They make you think you're dumb, and it just doesn't make you feel very well. I think it's horrible. I mean, it hurts, and I'm just glad it's done, and I couldn't be more happy.
Meanwhile, Flowers said this holiday season will be a special one for her household.
Thanksgiving's coming just around the corner. You still see our Christmas tree where time stood still last year. And this will be such a good Christmas. We've got a lot to be thankful for.
And the saga continues. Dan, in fact, in our conversation with Cindy last Thursday, she said she's working with an attorney now to take possible legal action against the state's Department of Social and Health Services.
But at least there's light at the end of the tunnel.
There
A year
is.
ago at this time, that wasn't the case with the Flowers family.
No, but I'm glad that things have kind of returned to normal for that family, such as normal is. But really a heartwarming story, especially at this time of the year.
And it's available on our website, right?
It is available on our website, absolutely, ncwlife.com.
In fact, we invite you to get a hold of us any number of ways. If you have news tips, if you just want to say hi, if you want to get a really good chili recipe from me. We try to make it as easy as possible for you to get a hold of us here at the NCW Life channel. You can Facebook message us. You can simply call us right there at 888-NCWL for news tips. You can contact us through our website, anything, whatever it takes for you to get a hold of us. All the information you need is at the bottom of your screen.
By the way, we're going to be circulating around the community our NCW Life cameras this week, and we're going to be asking the question, what do you think we should all be thankful for? So be watching for that, our Man of the Street interviews.
While we do that, we should also ask people who's going to win the Apple Cup.
There you go.
So, which finally has its mojo back. For a while there, the Apple Cup was kind of almost secondary. So it just didn't. And now for the second year in a row, both teams are ranked, so it'll be exciting.
Go Cougs.
Be a good game. Go Huskies. That's what I can say. It is 21 minutes after the hour. Speaking of sports, because we were talking about the Apple Cup, we'll talk about the Apple Cup here in just a couple of minutes. It's coming up this weekend. All the weekend sports prep activities, all in one nice little package. We have the obscure holiday, birthdays, today in history, and in the second half of the show, you saw the short version of the interview with Bart Tilley. We'll have the interview in its entirety from last Friday's Night in a Box. 22 minutes after the hour, you're watching Wake Up in Angie Valley live from Studio 7. We'll be right back.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
Here at Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, we are motivated to sell you your next vehicle. Whether it's new or used, we have a great selection of all-wheel drives, pickups, sedans, minivans, and muscle cars. With huge rebates and incentives on new and competitive pricing on used, there is no need to go out of town to buy. So here's to a great 2017 here at Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
Get a nice surprise today at Town Chrysler Family Store.
23 minutes after the hour on this Monday, the 20th day of November 2017. Wake up Wenatchee Valley on a rainy Monday, but keep in mind sunshine's coming our way, and then for the balance of Thanksgiving week, more rain. Forecast details, we'll do it again towards the back half of the hour. Cascade Kodiaks took on Kings in the state 1A Girls Soccer Championship Saturday afternoon at Shoreline Stadium. It was a scoreless first half, and then Cascade's Ashley Parton would tally the game's first goal in the 62nd minute. Hope it would stand up. It didn't stand up. Let's go to the highlights. This is courtesy of the National Federation of High Schools Network.
Looking for Parton. That ball comes through. And Ashley Parton, she could be in here. The ball's taking her out wide. Trying to come back into the middle. Defender goes down. Parton past one. Got held up. She'll shoot. She scores! Ashley Parton on the counter has found the weak spot in the Kings' armor and draws a decisive and crucial first blood here in the state championship game.
An attacking or a defensive player inside the box.
Player up, a shot, a score! Sensational
Stella
equalizer.
with a goal.
And it's Katie Stella on the volley.
Rasmussen's down.
A
however,
Kings player
from the play
down.
earlier.
But we're level 1-1 and in dramatic fashion.
So the game would go into overtime, tied at 1 goal apiece through 2 overtimes. It remained tied at 1. That means it would go to a penalty kick shootout. Both teams made 4 of 5 in the first shootout. That means they moved on to a sudden death shootout. And finally, in the 9th round, the match would be decided.
Goes right down the middle. Roberts has stopped
the goalkeeper. Oh, it's not over yet. Kings has to put one away. Has to put one away.
Rasmussen has done so much for this Kings team throughout this match and throughout the playoffs. Can she provide the victory? Goes
She
left.
does.
She's done it. The Kings Knights are 1A state champs, and it's Annie Rasmussen, the center back, that scores the winning penalty.
So Kings are the state 1A soccer championship. Cascade finishes runner-up. Congratulations to Kodiak's very, very good year for them. Brewster was also a tough luck loser in the shootout with St. George's Friday. This was the 1B, 2B state soccer semifinals, but they bounced back with a 2-0 win over Adna on Sunday. The Brewster Bears take third place. Also on Saturday in the state 1A football quarterfinals, it was Okanagan and Royal at Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. Big crowd on hand. Looking forward to an exciting back and forth contest. It didn't happen. The Knights would not play along with those wishes. Royal scored on the very first play from scrimmage on a 65-yard touchdown run by Alonzo Hernandez, and it was all Royal from there. Our NCW Live Channel cameras were there, and here are the highlights. For Okanagan, their season has now come to an end. Royal will take on Newport in the semifinals, 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon in Lions Field and Moses Lake. And other scores from the East Side teams this weekend. Elmira Cooley Heartline, no trouble. They advanced to the State 1B semifinals. They beat Nacelle. The final was 62-36. They'll play at Civic Stadium in Bellingham Saturday at 1 o'clock. They'll take on Lummi. Meanwhile, the Richland Bombers advanced to the State 4A semifinals with a 28-21 win over Gonzaga Prep. The Bombers will basically have a home game Saturday. They just crossed the bridge to Edgar Brown Stadium in Pasco. They'll take on Central Valley again Saturday at 1. The Wenatchee Wild, not a bad weekend, 2-1 over the weekend. North of the border, the Wild started out the weekend with a convincing 5-1 win over Coquitlam, behind 2 goals each by Murphy Stratton and Jasper Weatherby, as Wenatchee outshot the home team 47-14. Then it was on to George Preston Arena for a 4-2 come-from-behind win over Langley. The Rivermen scored 2 goals in the first period to take the lead. Then Wenatchee came back with a goal in the second. The game-tying goal shortly into the third. And Zach Galambos' first goal of the season provided to be the game winner. And Jason Wozniak added an empty netter as time expired to finish it. Jasper Weatherby had a hat trick of assists on the night. And finally, Wenatchee finished their third game in 3 days at Surrey. The Wild jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the first, only to see the Eagles tie it with a goal in the second and another in the third. It would go on to overtime.
Shoots it, clears it. Now Wesley picks this one back out and breaks out of his own zone as Wesley comes back down on the left side. Dangles cross to the far side. Stewart shoots, scores! Stewart gets the winner, and the Eagles come out. And boy, oh boy, look at the team. Are they happy? You betcha, sunshine.
The Wild are back at it with a 6 o'clock game on Wednesday at the Town Toyota Center. Central Washington University will take on Texas A&M Commerce Saturday in the second round of the NCAA Division II playoffs. That after A&M beat Winona State 21-6 on Saturday. Saturday's round of 16 game is at Ellensburg. They'll kick off at noon. Also Saturday, Eastern Washington blew out Portland State 59-33, but they will not be going to the postseason. The selection committee for the NCAA Division I championship picked Big Sky champions Southern Utah and Weber State, along with Northern Arizona to compete in the tournament. Washington needed a last-second drive and a 38-yard field goal as time expired. They got it by Tristan Vizcaino to come from behind, and they beat Utah 33-30 in Seattle. Of course, the Cougars didn't play. And the Seahawks will take on Atlanta tonight, Monday Night Football, to wrap up Week 11 in the NFL. By the way, Seattle got some help yesterday. Minnesota knocked off the Rams 24-7, and the Cardinals lost to Houston 31-21. Monday Night Football for the Seahawks. It is 31 minutes after the hour. And let's do our obscure holiday of the day today. Remember, growing up, you would have Mother's Day in May, and then Father's Day is in June, and we would all go, when's Children's Day? And they would always say, Children's Day is every day. It's also November 20th. Yes, November 20th is Children's Day. It's been observed since November 20th, 1954. It was sponsored by the United Nations, and then the Ronald McDonald House Charities picked up on that, and they also celebrate Children's Day on November 20th as a big fundraiser for the Ronald McDonald Charities. So this is actually, for all you kids out there who always want to know, Father's Day, Mother's Day, when's Children's Day? It's today. Don't look for any presents, but it's today, and it has been since November 20th, 1954. It is November 20th, 2017. And let's do today in history. Happy anniversary to the Queen of the Duke. Yes, there they are. 70 years ago today, she was Princess Elizabeth. He was Lieutenant Philip Mountbatten. They became husband and wife on this date 70 years ago today. She would eventually, of course, become Queen Elizabeth II. He is now the Duke of Edinburgh. Happy anniversary to those two who were married 70 years ago today. I understand that they're spending their 70th anniversary at Sandals, Jamaica. That's what I was told anyway. 48 years ago, very fascinating, under the Treaty of Fort Laramie, which was signed way back in 1868 between the U.S. and the Lakota tribes, here was the deal. If it was a federal government building, it was retired or abandoned or out of use, the federal land was supposed to be returned to the native people who once occupied it. Well, Alcatraz, the penitentiary, closed on March 21st, 1963. In 1964, the government declared it surplus. We don't want it anymore. And so the Indians of All Tribes organization, the IOAT, moved in. They said, okay, well, it's ours now, right? Can't we take it since you abandoned it and it's in the treaty? Well, they stayed for about a year and a half. Turns out vacationing in Alcatraz isn't all it's cracked up to be. Now they're just living there. The occupation of Alcatraz began in this state 48 years ago today. Eventually, on June 11th, 1971, the federal government said, out of here, go. And happy anniversary to Microsoft Windows 1.0. It was launched on this date. You remember that? It was huge 32 years ago, November 20th, 1985. I called, and they don't do tech support for that anymore. But there it is. The very first Windows operating system program was made available to people. It had a lot of glitches and a lot of problems, but instead of saying, ah, to heck with it, let's start all over again, they just kept working on it. Microsoft Windows 1.0 hit your local store on this date 32 years ago. And finally, at 34 minutes after the hour, let's do some birthdays for you today. Robert Francis Kennedy was born on this date in 1925. In 1968, he was the leading Democratic candidate for the Democratic nomination for the presidency of the United States. That came to an end on a June evening in Los Angeles when he was shot to death at the age of 42. He was only 42 years old. Of course, United States Attorney General, senator from the state of New York, and his older brother John's most intimate person in the cabinet, Robert Francis Kennedy, born on this date in 1925. Joe Biden is 75. Happy birthday, Joe. There you are, Joe, the lawyer, the politician, the 47th Vice President of the United States. Rumors, scuttlebutt, innuendo that he may run for the presidency in 2020. Who knows? He's 75 years old today, Joe Biden is. And Joe Walsh is 70 years old today. There's Joe, the singer-songwriter, probably best known with his work with the Eagles, of course, great solo work, the James Gang. Joe Walsh, and he's a great guitarist. Joe Walsh is 70 years old today. Somebody should probably tell him. At 35 minutes after the hour, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. We've got a good one for you today. And don't forget Mike's show, Street Talk and other stuff, at 10 o'clock live. His guest is going to be Christina Marie Wright. It's going to be a fascinating program. Don't want to miss that. Street Talk and other stuff with Mike Mad Dog Magnotti coming up at 10 o'clock. You don't have to wait that long for his opinion. That's 2 minutes away. And then my conversations with Bart Tilley and Sean Arrington from Friday night's Night in a Box. It's all coming up in this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Dear Merry Maids, please clean the kitchen, and the cabinets, and the floors, and the chairs. And I wish you could clean the dog. Colin is now feeding himself. Thanks, Megan.
Hi, Megan. No worries. We got it all cleaned up. Let's hope Colin gets past the spaghetti flinging stage soon. Till then, we've got you covered. See you next time. Merry Maids.
Ladies of the Wenatchee Valley, do you know the secret of receiving the perfect gift for your birthday, anniversary, or Christmas? We have the answer for you at Collins Fashions. Come in and fill out a wish list. You can choose from beautifully crafted jewelry, handbags, and luggage from Brighton, stylish wallets and handbags from Lotus, cozy sweaters from Icelandic, zip fleece from Tommy Bahama, fashions from Joseph Ribkop, and Collins gift cards. Our little elves can contact your loved ones and share your wish list. Complimentary gift wrap and amazing service at Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee.
Family means something in these parts. Family owned and operated means even more. At Rose Tractor, you're buying more than a product. You're buying years of knowledge through multiple generations. It means you can count on Rose for quality products, quality repairs, and folks who stand behind the products they sell. From your job site to your home to rentals and repairs to new outdoor power equipment, Rose Tractor is growing with you throughout the years. Rose Tractor, quality brands you can trust year after year.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks. So bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
If you're stuck trying to find the perfect beer for you, look no further than Badger Mountain Brewing. We specialize in creating tantalizing craft beers that will soothe any picky taste buds and will satisfy your cravings. Check out everything from our amazing Honey Blonde that will appease even the most finicky taster, or a delicious frothy stout for dark beer lovers. Experience them all at Badger Mountain Brewing.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by LocalTel. Head on down to the Wenatchee Valley Museum December 2 from 10 to 4, where kids of all ages are encouraged to come and make handmade gifts and crafts, warm up with a cup of hot cocoa, and get their picture taken with Santa. Also, Stage Kids will be performing Bah Humbug, a musical adaptation of A Christmas Carol, November 30 to December 2 at the Numerica Performing Arts Center. Tickets can be found at numericapac.org. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
Okay, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, lots of folks, they don't like the red light cameras here in town. Big Brother is watching, they like to say. Well, if that's how you feel, don't give Big Brother anything to watch. You know, we all know where the cameras are. Southbound on Chelan at 5th, southbound on Chelan at Okanagan, and northbound on Mission at Kittitas. I mean, what's so hard about being a little careful at these intersections? And what's wrong with these intersections, which have been proven to be risky? What's wrong with them having some extra monitoring? And why would you want the cameras removed? So you can run the red light cameras and not get caught? I mean, come on. Sheesh. I mean, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guest for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, I'm Blair from Works, your workout prescription. Have you ever started an exercise program and struggled to keep it going? So what if I told you that with this MyZone device, I could increase your chances of self-motivated exercise adherence by over 200%. Combine that with an exercise prescription specifically for your level of readiness, we'll increase it even more. And that's our new member success system. It's $99. It's exclusively at Works. It includes your MyZone belt. Works, yourworkoutrx.com.
The 6th annual Night in a Box is underway here. Friday night, we're in the parking lot of Encouraging Words. Bart Tilley is joining me. Bart, take me back 6 years, the very genesis of how this whole event happened. It's a fascinating story.
Well, actually, I've got to take you back 7 years.
7 years.
I know. Can you believe that? So, I know, we're getting older.
What
so,
happened 7 years
yeah,
ago? It's
so
a great story.
7 years ago, Sean Arrington and I were talking, and he said, Bart, I'm going to go spend the night on the street out in front of what we now call the Gospel House in order to just raise awareness and support for getting the doors open to this facility. And I said, Sean, that's the craziest idea I've ever heard, but if you're going to do it, I'm going to do it. And so I went down, and it was a Thursday night. We spent the night in front of the building, and then Todd Strom decided to come down, and so did Kevin Kennedy, and we suffered. You know, sleeping in a cardboard box in a cold winter night isn't exactly fun. But the next morning we felt like, you know, we did something that actually counted. The Wenatchee World actually came down and did a little interview with us, and they put a nice article in the paper, and the community rallied. We raised funds and opened the doors to the Gospel House. So one thing that was interesting also is the next morning the police came and they said, guys, you got to get out of here. You can't be spending the night on the sidewalk. You know, it's just, we don't allow that. So the next year we said, well, you know what, we're going to invite the police. And so we've got Steve Crown spending the night with us tonight. We also have Brian Burnett. So we're bringing law enforcement along with us.
It's a fascinating story what happened 7 years ago. 7 years ago when you were freezing on that cold night in front of the Gospel House, did you think 7 years later it would be this?
No. I thought, well, that was kind of a crazy thing, and I'm glad I checked that off the bucket list. But then a year later, it's kind of like, I kind of equated to childbirth, even though I've never gone through that personally. You know, we sort of forgot about how cold it gets and such, and we said, yeah, maybe we should do it again. And so, no, never dreamt that the event would still be going, and that this year we think we might have close to 150 people.
Now, this year you've changed things up a little bit. First of all, you had a great press conference a couple of months ago, and you invited some fairly prominent people to come out and join you, and you're a hard person to say no to, Bart, so how did that go?
It went really, really well. Yeah, what we did is we chose some people that are highly respected in the community, people like Darcy Christopherson being one, and we said, you know, we're gonna ask these people to really get behind the Night in a Box movement and to actually promote them for the great things they're doing in the community, and also ask them to help us in fundraising. And my hat's off to Darcy. That girl is close to raising $7,000, and it's not 7 donations. I think she was up to close to 100 donations. So we definitely took a little bit different approach this year, and it's been a tremendous amount of fun.
You mentioned donations. You usually don't set a goal because it's one of those things you try not to do. The money, where does the money come from? Where is the money going to?
Well, the money definitely is coming from the community, and it really is, $50, $100, $25 at a time. So that's exciting. It's not, big grants from people on the other side of the world. It's the local community coming together. And then where the money's going is it's going to open the doors of the new Ministry Center, which is just right on the other side of Cross Sport Performance Fitness.
Yeah, the Lighthouse is going to have a brand new facility on South Columbia. It's been going great guns, and it's going to basically be now one building where all of the things that the Lighthouse does will be all under one roof. Because right now it's not; they're kind of scattered all over the place.
That's correct. It is going to be a consolidation of services. So the soup kitchen, which is right across the street, is going to be located there. So is the clinic. We don't have any administrative offices. None. Cafe Mela is our office. So those facilities are going to be able to allow us to actually have offices, counseling rooms, those types of things.
The Night in a Box committee, is it just an ad hoc committee? Is it formal?
Oh, it's very formal, very formal. So this year I've asked for some serious help. I said, listen, guys, I need help. And so on the committee, Corey Corfiatis has been a huge help to us. Corey is a brilliant marketer. He's very creative from just a messaging and marketing perspective. So Corey's been huge. Todd Strom has also jumped in and pulled on the number of oars to really propel us through the water. So those guys are 2 new additions to the team. And then we've got Joseph Cox and Sean Arrington, who are on staff with the Lighthouse.
In the 7 years this has been going on, what lessons have you learned about logistics and how this thing all comes together?
Well, I guess the first thing is to start early. So we actually started planning on July 1st, which kind of seems like overkill, but we really did. We started in July. But then in terms of pulling tonight off, volunteers, making sure we've got a plan, because the Encouraging Words is kind enough to let us use their parking lot. Which is a huge blessing to us, but we also want to make sure that we're not disrupting their business. So we're basically saying, listen, we're going to start at 6 o'clock and allow people to set up, and at 6 o'clock, look out. People are going to be showing up, so making sure we've got logistics so that people can come in safely, orderly. Those are the big things.
The idea is to raise the issue of homelessness, which is a chronic problem. It's a vicious cycle. How do we break the vicious cycle of homelessness? Is there an answer, or are we just kind of chip away and hope and pray that eventually we can eradicate this problem?
If I knew the answer to that question, probably be in a different place. I don't know. It is puzzling. It's very puzzling. And I think, what my answer to that is that I can't solve homelessness, but I can show love and compassion and do my best to really just help our brothers and sisters in need. And the homeless community, they're people. They are our friends, our neighbors, who a lot of them have just, they're down on their luck, and they actually, some of them and a lot of them do want help, and those are the ones that we're really trying to impact here in Wenatchee.
Is there a goal, like say 10 years from now, you don't have to do Night in a Box anymore because, hey, we did it, we solved the problem?
No, this man named Jesus Christ said that the poor will always be with you, so I don't think it's going away.
One last question for you, Bart. Again, we're talking to Bart Tilley, one of the prime organizers of Night in the Box. By the time this program airs, Night in the Box will be over. How do people continue to donate? How do people continue to help you guys and the folks at the Lighthouse?
Yes.
Numbers they can call, that kind of stuff.
Well, we're trying to make it easy. So a night, so it's a nightinabox.com would be one. Lighthouse has a website. You can drop off checks at the Lighthouse right here across the street from Encouraging Words. Those would be probably the 3 that I would point people to.
And of course, you're going to be here as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Just off the top of the head, do you remember all the people? How many people have actually done it all 7 years, counting tonight? Have never missed one?
Probably, that have never missed one?
Yeah.
There's two of us. Yeah, Sean Arrington and I.
And you'll both be here tonight.
Oh yeah. But Kevin Kennedy and Todd Strom have both been here for 6 of the 7 years. So they've done extremely well.
Bart, good luck tonight. Yeah. Stay warm, my friend.
Thanks for being here.
Take care.
All the support.
Night in a Box, a special presentation on the NCW Live channel. We'll be back with more. Don't go anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is State Representative Kerry Condata inviting you to check out our newest show on the NCW Life channel. We call it the 12th District. Each week we'll be taking an in-depth look at various political issues that affect our area, our state, and the world. We'll be featuring local and statewide experts on the subject matter at hand. Please join us weekly for the 12th District with yours truly, Kerry Condata. Check your channel guide for times or go to ncwlife.com for details.
The 2017 Ski-Doo Summit sleds. Next generation REV platform. The most powerful two-stroke engine in the industry. For the unmatched handling and power to own the next side hill, the next drop, the next ride. Ski-Doo. What matters is what's next.
Some people put everything into their work. They put their name on the door and their heart into the community. Some people make it their life's work to carry on traditions that cross over the decades. When you shop these local businesses, you support all the things that make our community great, and the money you spend stays here in the Valley. We give thanks to the sponsors who support this message: Chris Kringle in Leavenworth, Praise Fruit Barn on Highway 2, and Liberty Orchards in Cashmere.
We've been in the cleaning industry for over 10 years, and we noticed a need in the housing market for reliable, professional, and specialized cleaning and finishing company.
They come in with spunk and personality, a lot of energy, and they take pride in their business.
We offer a wide array of cleaning solutions, no matter how big or small the job. Anything from new construction to move-in, move-outs, we do it all. Give us a call today to see how we can help you with your cleanup.
Night in the Box 2017 continues, the 7th annual Night in the Box. Sean Arrington, my good friend. First of all, I haven't seen you in a long time. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I'm excited about what's going to be going on just down the block with your brand new facility. How close are you from getting that baby open?
Well, we are just waiting for different subs to come in for different tasks. The electricity's being worked on right now, whole new electrical system. Next is pouring the concrete, and after that's framing and so on. So just task by task.
And now everything that is lighthouse related is all going to be under pretty much one roof now, right?
Well, everything that's not housing. All the housing is staying at those locations. The preschool is staying at its location. But the soup kitchen, the food storage, the medical, the dental, all of that, the offices are all going to be under the new roof.
I interviewed Bart Tilley earlier today. He took me back 7 years to their impromptu, let's sleep in front of the Gospel House and see what happens. Now it's 7 years later. Did you have any idea this was actually going to become a self-growing entity?
No, you know, I think all the best things happen by accident. So I had no clue.
What can people, what are you expecting tonight? Because we've been doing this for a long time. We all get together, camaraderie, fellowship, testimonials. Anything different tonight that you're hoping for, or is it you're just hoping everybody stays warm?
Well, you know, the difference is there's a lot more people. That's one thing. But also later during the testimony time when people are up there, there's going to be a couple of surprises as far as what the fundraising is doing this year. But I can't really tell you that yet. But this year we had over 150 people register, and there's usually at least 30 to 40 that don't register and show up anyway. So.
This year you're doing something different. Bart went out and recruited some fairly high-profile, prominent North Central Washington citizens to partake in Night in the Box, and that's got to make you feel good.
Yeah, it's great. In fact, I just walked with them. We went over to the soup kitchen. We had a meal. Everybody sat at a different table and had, you know, community with everybody else that normally is there, and we walked as if we were homeless down to the shelter and did a little mock check-in and walked through there, and some people that don't stay in the shelters go back to camps. So this is what we're doing next. We're camping.
And some of the people who are actually beneficiaries of what you at the Lighthouse do are going to be staying here tonight as well, which is cool.
Oh, absolutely. The people who have had their lives changed, the people who may be homeless or may be in the shelters, they're here tonight. And the greatest thing is we share the same fire and no one knows who each other is other than you're out in the cold with me.
It's all about raising awareness about homelessness. And I talked to Bart about the vicious circle of homelessness. Is it breakable? Is there a goal in sight? Where are we with that? Would you like to see this whole event go away because you don't need it anymore?
Oh, it'd be nice to not have a job. It'd be nice not to do this. You know, the good news is we don't see repeatedly always the same people. And that's kind of the theory, is like, is it the same people over and over again? We've had 248 people housed through the emergency shelter alone. Those aren't the people that are deciding to go through the life classes, the 2 years of discipling and class training that changes their life drastically. We've seen 99% of the women in the Grace House have their children restored to them. And these people are moving into houses. They're staying in houses. I think last year we had 15 out of those hundreds that actually were not in the house still at the end of the year. So the percentage rate is above and beyond. And you know, new people are experiencing homelessness for the first time, and that's what we're here for also.
Homelessness is a chronic problem, but it's fixable, is it not?
It's treatable. It's absolutely fixable, case by case. And as long as we do that relationship person by person, then we will see that it is actually something that can be defeated.
How has the Lighthouse changed you, Sean Arrington? What has the Lighthouse done for you?
Well, I came here about a month before it opened, and the doors were already open, praise God. And you know, I was in and out of drugs and homeless for the majority of the last 15 years of my life, and I can gladly say I have not been homeless or on drugs ever since I walked in that door. I've had my family restored. I've had everything restored to my life, things that I never had, and I have seen it happen with my friends. I've seen it happen with people that now are my friends, and I see it happening daily. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity to have it happen in other people's lives.
How do our viewers help the Lighthouse outside of tonight? This is a huge, huge event for the Lighthouse. But when it's all said and done and it's November 18th, how do people help Sean Arrington? How do people help the Lighthouse? How do they get involved?
Well, next is Thanksgiving, and you know, also tomorrow there's a meal. Tomorrow there's people. So going to WenatcheeLighthouse.org is the best place. There's donation there. There's also a sign-up sheet, which, hey, whatever you're interested in, whatever you're called to. You know, we have children, we have nursing, we have dental, we have housing, we have outreach. And so we just like to say that, hey, whoever you are, we have a place for you.
It's as simple as that. Sean, anything else for our viewers before you have to get to work? I know you're a busy guy.
Well, I'm just really grateful for all the help that the whole community has given. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for supporting people when they need supported and loving people when they seem unlovable, because you're making a difference.
Sean Arrington from the Lighthouse. Be good, my friend.
Yeah,
thanks for letting us come out and do this, too.
Yeah,
I'm having a good time, all right?
I got your box ready.
Oh, yeah, you got it. Sean Arrington from the Lighthouse. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching our special presentation, Night in the Box, on the NCW Life channel. Well, I was warm.
I was going to say, your nose wasn't running.
No, well, noses, although noses do run in my family.
They do run, yeah.
Yeah, they anyway, Night in the Box was a huge success. We'll try and get some final numbers for you. And again, we're putting together a special presentation, a 1-hour show on Night in the Box. My producer, Megan, and I will be doing that sometime this week, provided we find the time. Update, there was a huge power outage on the west side of Wenatchee on Sunday, and the cause of that now, Steve, has been determined?
Yes, it has been, and it's kind of a messy situation, as you see here from the pictures that were provided to us by the Chelan County PUD. This is up at the intersection of Washington and Western, where that power outage started when a vehicle sheared off that power pole. They had to replace the power pole and the cross arm as well. What happened, according to Captain Edgar Reinfeld with the Wenatchee Police Department, is that we had a 16-year-old boy apparently had driving a vehicle without the permission of his parents, sheared off that pole. Turns out the boy was allegedly under the influence of drugs, both opiate, Xanax, an anti-anxiety drug, and he was also using a high concentration marijuana wax, apparently, according to Captain Reinfeld. So apparently impaired driver. Who's really facing quite a bit of quite a few charges now.
And they were without power for what, 8 hours or something like that?
Now 16.
Yeah, wow.
16 hours.
Wow.
The power outage affecting about 900 customers of the PUD. They're all back online now, but I'll tell you what, it's a mess up there for a while.
If you're just rolling out of bed, first of all, it's Monday, November 20th. Happy Monday. It's rainy outside right now. The sun is going to be poking out a little bit later on today. This is the ending of a system that came by and visited us yesterday. And then unseasonably warm and very wet conditions is in the forecast, beginning really Tuesday and lasting into Wednesday night. We're going to have pretty consistent rain, very, very heavy rain, Steve, Tuesday into Tuesday night. Passes, no problems at all. The snow level is going to go all the way up to above 8,000 feet.
Look at about a quarter inch of rain, though, here in the valley.
Yeah, we're going to get a lot of rain in the valley. The mountain passes are going to get a ton of rain, gobs of rain, very warm. If you're traveling over the mountain passes this week, your biggest concern is not going to be the snow. It's going to be standing water.
Pontoons advised.
Steve, have yourself a good Monday, all right?
You too, Dan.
We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.